All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praise, honor, and glory is to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. That's the true name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, the true powers of the heavens and earth. All right. I also want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much due honors and respect to you brothers out there that's also laboring in this work, continuing to push out this gospel in all truth, faith, and sincerity. So yeah, I just want to get into prophecies. All right. In particular, prophecies concerning America, also known as Babylon the Great, or the whore as well. All right, the whore which the kings of the earth has committed fornication with. And the kings of the earth is symbolic to all you different nations who come over here and you subscribe to the ways of America. For an example, you might take a so-called Arab, all right, a woman, for instance, from the Middle East, and the customs of her forefathers require her to have her head covered, all right, cover herself from head to toe. You fast forward, she's over here in America with a cell phone to her ear, all right, prancing around with some tights on, meaning she have just committed spiritual fornication or broken off from the customs of her forefathers. And that sentiment is shared with all the other nations. They come over here, whether it's to enroll in these institutions, in these universities, and pretty much digest the philosophies of America and follow the ways of America, which is indeed the whore. All right? Now, in this sitting, which is centered around this article, all right, from Newsweek, you see the title, all right? It was published October the 25th, 2017. And the title reads, Donald Trump, a loser in New World Leader Approval Ratings Poll. And you might say, well, what does this have to do with prophecy? Well, it got a whole lot to do with prophecy, especially concerning the prophecies of America, all right? Because this is proof that the world is beginning to look at America with disdain. Now, you might say, well, this only is dealing with Trump. Well, is not Trump the figurehead or the representative of America? So this is a poll that's outlining how the world or the world's outlook on America, which is in decline, in opposed to how the world viewed America going back to its inception, all right? Matter of fact, before I go into this article, let me get a quick scripture, quick precept, which comes to mind, the book of Isaiah, 47th chapter, in the first verse. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Right, and this is dealing with America. Because you might say, well, Babylon was already destroyed. This is dealing with ancient Babylon. Well, the key word there is daughter of Babylon. If you have a daughter, your daughter comes after you, right? So this is talking about a Babylon after ancient Babylon, which, by the way, the reason why America is known as Babylon, when you go into the Hebrew word for Babylon, is Babal, which means confusion. And you don't even have to go into a deep breakdown of that. This place is filled with confusion. The very fabric of America is built off confusion. You know, a couple of examples. You got people eating out the trash can, laying around, begging for change. Meanwhile, they'll pay a guy $100 million to shoot a basketball, all right? Or you can win $10,000 or $100,000 on Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, solving a puzzle. That's confusion, all right? Or if you looking to step down on a woman, you got to strongly consider if that's a man or not, all right? And vice versa. So indeed, this place is confusion, which when the Lord, all right, tagged this place as Babylon the Great, it was a very accurate assessment, okay, or diagnosis of this place. So again, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. In this article is a precursor of that, all right? Which this article is, let me see if it load back up. This article is pretty much a foreshadowing of what's going to ultimately happen to America, where the other nations is going to hate the whore. All right? Matter of fact, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can type it. Yeah, type it back up. Right, this is the one I want. So again, back in the article, all right, it says Donald Trump, a loser in New World Leader approval ratings, all right, meaning that the world is not looking at America as being tender and delicate anymore, okay? It says French President Emmanuel Macron beat out President Donald Trump in a new poll of the world's most popular leaders. The poll released Tuesday listed Macron as the leader of the pack with a 45% approval rating and Brazilian President Michel Temer as the most unpopular leader at 3%. Trump came in second place with 37% in the poll compiled by the Eurasian Group, a global political risk consulting agent, in its Signal newsletter. The president has the lowest approval rating of any president in U.S. history, and experts say it's his own fault, right? So when you look at the big picture from all the different presidents, well, if this guy is the lowest approved, that means America as a whole is has lost its luster, okay? Just like the scripture I read. Come and sit down in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. See, all the presidents that preceded America, preceded Trump, pardon me, they was looked at with a certain level of reverence, if you will, all right? That means America still had that somewhat of a grip on the world. But now, with this stat coming out, or this poll, it's basically outlining the fact that America has lost that luster. It's no more being called tender and delicate. And just because Trump is the guy that's being isolated or highlighted, it doesn't take from the fact that this is dealing with America as a whole, because Trump, again, is the figurehead, all right? It says Trump's political strategy of playing to the core of his base means that almost by definition, his popularity can never rise to a certain extent. All right? Alexander Kilman, director of research of Eurasia Group, told Newsweek, he is placing a natural ceiling on his own potential popularity. Right? And there's more. I'm not going to read the rest of it. We got the point. All right? I mean, the title itself says a lot, which again is a fulfillment of scripture. The fact that these other nations is going to hate the whore. And you see the buildup of that, all right? So with that, going to the scriptures, this is the book of Ezekiel, the 31st chapter, and starting at the 9th verse. I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, right? And this is dealing with America. The Lord is comparing America to a tree. And the Lord said he made America fair by the multitude of his branches, meaning what? His extension, all right? Meaning he have embassies set up in these different nations. He's branched out on damn near every continent, or every country, should I say, there's a U.S. embassy, all right? All those places where, there's something to gain from America, all right? Whether it's resources or what have not. So it says, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High envied him. Right, this dealing with the other nations. They actually envy this place. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast lifted up thyself in height, and he have shot up his top among the thick boughs, and his heart is lifted up in his height. And this is Trump, okay? This is America, but this is dealing with the time span of America, all right? The time we in right now concerning America, Trump is the president, and this is the proudest devil of all, man, all right? All you so-called white people is proud, but this Trump guy is a very proud devil. When you go back to Brussels, the meeting of NATO, when he elbowed his way through the crowd, And then other nations was looking like they wanted to kill him, man. That was the most proud. I never seen them so proud, man. Then he came up and he posed. That's a proud devil, man. And that's what the Lord talking about right here, man, because we at the climax of America. So it's only right for the Lord to put the proudest devil in office. That's why you had this whole campaign of Make America Great Again, which is a proud statement in itself, okay? And Trump pride is so strong to where it woke up that dormant, proud spirit in all these so-called white people. Matter of fact, I'm going to go back to this. Let me get a quick precept, all right? This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Right, so with Trump being the head, the rest of the country is under his vibration. That's why it says, of what manner of the man of the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. That's why when this proud devil Trump came into office, you had the rest of these proud devils to show their true horns, okay? So back in Ezekiel 31 and 10, therefore thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast lifted up thyself in height, and he hath shot up his top among the thick boughs, and his heart is lifted up in his height. I have therefore delivered him into the hand of the mighty one of the heathen. Right, so the Lord have delivered him into the mighty one of the heathen, which is ultimately Russia, because the heathen is dealing with all the other nations, but the mighty one of all the heathens is the Russians. He shall surely deal with him. I have driven him out for his wickedness. And strangers, the terrible of the nations, have cut him off and have left him upon the mountains, and in all the valleys his branches are fallen, and his boughs are broken by all the rivers of the land, and all the people of the earth are gone down from his shadow and have left him. So this is the ultimate, all right, this is the be-all, end-all when concerning America, okay? All the other nations is going to turn on this place and destroy it by way of those ICBM missiles. And right now with that approval rating, which might seem like a very subtle thing, but hey, that's the beginning of these prophecies, okay? This is Revelation chapter 17, and I think that's, let's see, maybe 14. Oh, no, verse 16, all right? Salaki, I started at verse 15. Revelation 17 and 15, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues, right? And the whore, again, is dealing with America, which is populated by different nations and multitudes and tongues. This place is known as the Great Melting Pot. Out of all the nations on the planet, you're going to see at least one nationality here in America. Verse 16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. And that's the point. They're going to hate the whore, all right, starting with NATO, all right, and all these different countries, including America's allies. You see that with this Angela Merkel bitch out of Germany. She don't like Trump, okay, and that's an ally. You got different allies. Saudi Arabia, they looking toward dumping the dollar. All right, that's a strong ally of America, okay? So even including America's allies is going to hate her. And you can't say that this foreign, because even amongst you so-called white people, you financial experts and you political experts, you all agree that Trump is leading America to destruction. But it's not Trump so much, it's the Most High putting Trump in office, all right? Because if America was going to be preserved, the Most High would have had a easygoing leader. No, the Lord put a guy in office who got his foot to the pedal. All right? Because it's the plan of the Lord. Verse 17, for the Most High have put it in their hearts, which is their minds, to fulfill his will and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. So these prophecies going to come into play. They're going to be fulfilled. There's nothing you could do to stop these prophecies. And the major prophecy is America's destruction. Okay? Verse 18, and I'm going to end it off right here. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city that's dealing with America, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Right? So with that, shalom.